This is Dabu7. I want to share with you here some critical events that you can expect to happen over a 40-day period between August 21st and September 30th. Now, this window starts on August 21st, where we have this great American eclipse that the media has been buzzing about, that schools have been shutting down over, government agencies flipping out, and military units being dispatched in areas of Oregon and other states, treating it like it's an emergency. This event is going to be followed 7 years later by another solar eclipse event that will cross the United States, and it will form an X, a giant X, right over the New Madrid Fault region. Now, I talk about all of this in other videos, and I'm going to be dropping a video after this specifically on all the crazy things attached to this eclipse. You're not going to want to miss that one because it's got some crazy stuff in there. And I'm going to be live streaming this eclipse on my other channel, Dabu777, the day of the event. So make sure you're subbed over there. Well, following this August 21st eclipse, we have this massive drill going down by FEMA. This is an exercise known as EarthX 2017. This is going to simulate catastrophes such as a mega earthquake, cyber terrorism, or a high-altitude electromagnetic pulse. The timing of this is just crazy. I just put out a video talking about this in great detail, about how a congressional expert came out and warned on Breitbart that North Korea's Shining Star satellite that is coming up from the south can't be stopped by the United States because we have no southern defenses, no missile systems to shoot it down, so to speak. He also states it's at an optimal level of 300 miles, I believe he said, at altitude, where at that distance it would cover all of Canada, the United States, and Mexico. When I said that at first and I brought up this idea after they launched it, it was, it's conspiracy theory. Now that a congressional expert is warning about this, people are starting to pay attention. And really, you see that our defenses are down, and that if this ever happens in this country, it's because the same ones that allowed 9/11 to happen let it. You better not forget that. You better not. Because if the lights do go out someday, which I believe they will at some point, you'll remember these words, and hopefully you'll remember exactly who was behind it. It's not going to be who they're pointing the finger at. This is a world stage, ladies and gentlemen. So EarthX is going down on August 23rd to prepare or deal with such an event. Now, it's interesting. I was watching a Bible Code, I forget what the name of the exact video was, but it had staggering in it. I started watching a little bit into it, and a guy was taking the Hebrew Torah and running it through the Bible Code stuff and pulling out of it some crazy stuff. In a very small matrix, less than 5,000 characters, that was revealing some very odd things about the eclipse. The one thing that I did not get out of it was an exact year. But it mentioned the sky opening up and rolling up. And everything else that was in there was on point. If I find that video, I'll attach it in the description box below. But all of that correlates with such an event that FEMA is preparing for on the 23rd. So, September 1st, this is the start of FEMA's annual National Preparedness Month. We also have the U.S. State Department's ban on U.S. citizens traveling into North Korea going into effect on that date. Now, some are asking, why did they wait to allow that to go into effect then? Why didn't they just announce it now? Many are concerned this is going to lead to more war with North Korea, but here on this world stage, if you've been following me, you better know it's that hand behind the curtain that's doing all this. September 11th, as I stated before, if you are not educated on what happened on this day in this country, you need to get caught up to speed. The same ones JFK warned you about are the same ones that were behind that event, and they will be the same ones behind when the lights go out. Don't you forget it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but I don't have a crystal ball, guys. All I can ever stress to you is survival, and I'm taking that up another notch to another level from here because I believe people are getting complacent and madness is starting to spark in this country because of Soros-backed chaos and the division here in this country right before your very eyes. And I know millions of people out there are watching this circus, not being a part of it, but if you do not get active, they're going to strip your freedoms away, your right to assemble and everything else. And that's all this is about. Race baiting and everything else they've tried for the longest time, and it's going to continue. So the protests are another thing throughout this window. You're going to see them ramp up to an all-time high level. They're already spreading them across the country. All of this has been planned. Yeah, that's how they've been paid, money raised, they've been shipped in, hotels paid for. That's why they're coming in on little white buses. Everything's paid for, even their tiki torches and everything. Black Lives Matter on the other side of the aisle, we've already exposed it. Same thing, being funded, pushed, and they're running them head to head. This is a psyop, ladies and gentlemen, and you better see it for what it is. We're going to have on September 20th, Rosh Hashanah. It begins at sunset. Now, what is interesting, taking this back to the eclipse, is that the first town to see this eclipse in the United States is Salem, which is named after Jerusalem. And as the eclipse hits that area, the sun sets over Jerusalem. Basically, the sun setting over both places at the same time. Very symbolic, and I'm going to talk about that more in an upcoming video, which is just pretty crazy with all the stuff connected. On the 21st, we have a very important date. And, thankfully, I've been able to reach folks across the world, and I've had a Jewish guy out of Israel that has reached out to me over the years telling me that the elites in control of the Zionist regime, the Mossad and everything in there have sold them out. They do not hold the Sabbath, that they are fakes, and warns me of key events that he believes is going to happen in Tel Aviv and in the United States. He warns that this day of September 21st, this UN International Day of Peace, that apparently Trump is supposed to be giving a speech at this event. He warns that this is going to mark a historic moment in time where things are going to start to unravel from here. And he swears to me there's going to be an event inside of Israel that's going to be staged just like 9/11, and it's going to be just by the same hands. There's a reason they caught a bunch of their agents jumping up and down by a van and admitted that they were sent here on 9/11 to document the event, which they knew it was going to happen before it did. What I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is other people that know about the next event coming before it happens. And it's time we get this knowledge and you pay attention to see who's where, what's where on any given day. Because when you have a whole religion of people, like on 9/11, not show up for work, that's pretty damn telling that somebody knew something. These are the things you're going to need to watch for upcoming events. And I find it interesting that when this congressional expert warned about this North Korean shining star satellite, that he said that it may even catch the president by surprise. Interesting. That's hung with me since he said that. Moving on here, September 23rd. This is the date, which is 33 days after the eclipse, which is connected to Revelation 12, the sign, the woman clothed in the sun, the moon at her feet, a crown of 12 stars at her head, where Jupiter will be right there around her womb with the dragon that I've exposed in the other videos that Google Earth tried to hide. Yeah, awaiting. This is all coming together, and I've warned about this sign in the heavens forever in so many videos, and now all is tying in together numerically, astronomically. On the 24th, the very next day, there's going to be very important elections in Germany that you need to pay attention to and where the chaos is going to go in these countries. France and Germany are in on this on the world stage. Why do you think their leadership allowed Soros-backed immigrants to come flooding in there? It is part of this chaos. When you start to see what they really worship, the fallen ones on this world stage, and that they have sold you out, that they're not real Christians, they're not real Jews or Muslims, then you start to see the bigger picture. Then you start to awaken fully. And you see what they're after here with this one world order. And some are not going to see it until it hits them like a ton of bricks. September 29th, Yom Kippur begins at sunset. It concludes on September 30th. Of course, September 30th will be the end of the 40-day period that we started with here. But on September 29th, you have to remember, this is what Secretary Stephen Mnuchin had put in, saying that the debt ceiling will be breached. So by the end of the 40-day window, September 30th, if Congress does not pass this budget bill by the end of that day, we will have a government shutdown. So a lot of detail here, guys. I'm going to leave a link with more information. And keep your eyes peeled for an upcoming video pertaining to the eclipse. And remember, I'll be live streaming this and have a plan. Have a plan for a lights out situation, folks, in the future. It's the motto from here. Much love.